Now, this just happened 12 minutes ago. I'm pretty sure that you're going to see it on all the front page news tomorrow. Apparently, there were shots fired at a Trump's rally. And it seems that Trump may actually have gotten hit. You can see here.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Right, so the Secret Service were immediately on the scene and they jumped over him to protect him. This happened in Pennsylvania. And I don't know if he's fine or not. Like, again, this was just 12 minutes ago. The news hasn't even started posting about it yet. Incredibly concerning. I mean, there were a lot of commentators and people that suggested that this may happen because, like, the lawsuits didn't work. But we still don't know anything, right? So I'll try to keep you guys up to date. I hope he is fine. It's very difficult to tell from the footage that we're having. Obviously, he's being rushed to a hospital right now. Kind of reminds me of Bolsonaro, which also got stabbed before the election. And this seems like a similar event. I genuinely didn't think that I would live such times to see a presidential candidate in the United States going through an assassination attempt. Granted, like, this isn't the first time it happened with Trump. There was a taxi driver that got shot by a crazy person, and the reason for this is because the crazy person thought it's Trump. Like, they look kind of similar. And there's a lot of unhinged people, especially due to the mainstream media. And I want you to notice that the mainstream media will not be held responsible for this at all. Like, if you have a YouTuber or an independent content creator and he's criticizing someone on the left, like, the moment that person on the left even gets mild criticism, the commentator and the YouTuber is going to be held responsible. But when the media drives the entire American population into an absolute frenzy, and something like this happens, no journalist is going to be forced to step down. No one is going to be held accountable. There's not going to be any ideology that's behind this, right? There's not going to be calls for gun control or anything like that. You're going to just have people say, oh, well, this is terrible. But that's pretty much it. And I am genuinely curious to see, like, what the left will say. Because, like, if this was a leftist, every single right-winger that's a politician or a commentator, the moment they step out of their house, there would be an army of microphones asking them to disavow. It's like, okay, that's interesting, but do you disavow? Do you disavow? And I'm legitimately curious to see if Nancy Pelosi is going to be asked to disavow. I mean, we kept hearing about January 6th, nonstop, just nonstop. Are we going to hear about this? Like, is this a threat to democracy? Like, I'm really curious because, like, a lot of people need a representative. Like, whether you like it or not, it's not that Trump is planting ideas into people's heads. Is that people have grievances, and Trump is the one that addresses their grievances. So, if you don't have Donald Trump, like, who is going to represent those people? And that's actually a good question. Like, if Donald Trump, due to health reasons or whatever happens, because, like, again, this happened like 12 minutes ago. Like, I generally don't know how it's going to be like tomorrow. I don't even know if he got shot, if he only got grazed or anything like that. But assuming he drops out of the race because of this, who's going to replace him? Like, is there even a right-wing candidate that's in line? Probably not. So yeah, I mean, this is American politics now. This is how divisive things are in America. And I generally can't say if this is planned or if it's just a crazy person. Because I could believe both of them. And that's what's really scary. It can be definitely a crazy person. Again, the polarization is so severe in the US. And this is happening in Pennsylvania. Like, they do have people voting for the left. So there's like a significant leftist base. It's a swing state, right? And absolutely horrifying. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully there's going to be some good news about it. Just still shut up. Like, I know in the history of the United States this has happened, but to actually live through the times where it's happening in the now is so surreal. I mean, you have people that are so desperate to cling to power that actually ended up with this. And when you realize, like, Trump is not even that much of a radical. Like, he's not an extremist. There are other extremists out there, right? Like, he's not trying to take away your gas stove. He's not trying to increase the cost of living. He's not trying to take away your rights. He's not trying to take away your right of freedom of expression or anything that's grafted in the Constitution. And yet people are so unhinged that you end up with this happening. And I think like Joe Rogan called it. I think Ben Shapiro called it. I think like there's a lot of other commentators that basically said, well, they tried everything. Like they tried locking him up. They tried damaging his reputation. They're trying everything, and this would be like the next level. Tim Pool as well. Like a lot of people were claiming that this would happen, so now it did. It's yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's just surreal. I was about to go to bed when I just saw this. And the concerning thing is that if people are willing to do this in order to keep the left in power, then I have no idea how you can come back from this. Like, in the United States, you have such a level of digital control, it's unreal. Like, you have PlayStation monitoring what people talk when they play video games. You got social media reading people's DMs, and you're telling me that they didn't know this would happen? Like, with all this authoritarian bullshit that's being brought up since 2016, everything is being monitored. Everything is being traced. Credit card companies monitor now, like, in some places they're planning to monitor who buys guns and shit. And like, with all this safety, with all this safetyism, they can't find out something like this. Right. So, like, how much more authoritarianism is needed? Like just how much more control is there? Like, if every single person that sends a private message is going to be intercepted, would that keep us safe, quote-unquote? And yeah, I'm willing to bet, like, right-wingers are not going to ask for gun control after this. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.